Welcome in, Riftbound players. We are live and back at it again with some weekly tournament action. I am Plus, and here with me today is Leroy Stinson. How are you feeling today, Leroy?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. Excited to see some rebound again after two intense weekends of regionals.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were very intense and very good games throughout the whole weekend. And, speaking of regionals, you were out there in Bologna. How was your experience out there?
it was really cool. My performance was May. I went for four, but it was a really good experience. It was for me my first TCG big tournament because it's my first physical TCG. Yeah, really fun. Met a lot of great people. That I think that's mostly what made this weekend amazing. And yeah, visited a bit Bologna. It was nice. Had a bit of sun,
Mm-hmm.
so really can't complain.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time. I was super jealous of everyone out there in Vegas, but I did manage to get a ticket for Atlanta, so hopefully I could catch a couple people out there. And I think Leroy also managed to snag a ticket for Leo too, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to Lille, and this one will be much easier to attend. I can go by train. It feels so good to not have to take the plane.
Yeah, that does
Um,
feel nice. A nice and easy travel always feels good,
yeah,
and it kind of less fatiguing, right? So you might be a little bit fresher in the regional. But Leroy, if you are ready, it looks like we are ready to get things started with round number one of today's event. We try to pick a little bit spicier matchups to start the event. And one little thing before we start, we are actually on a bit of a time delay. So about 6-7 minutes of a delay. So if you guys are typing in chat, we won't see those messages till a couple minutes later, but it's because we're having the hands revealed today. So if you guys remember a couple tournaments back when we don't have like $1,000 on the line, we could reveal the hands, make sure people aren't kind of stream sniping the stream. But what I was getting at is we have a bit of a spicier matchup, Sivir versus Volibear, and it may or may not be something along the lines of Volibear Dragons. We'll see, we'll see. But let's tell these players to go ahead and start. All right, Leroy, if you're ready, let's go ahead and join these players.
yeah. Here we go.
And it looks like they already did their mulligan and things are starting things off. So Volley Bear will be Cat Bear Pig and then Mashallah at the bottom with Sivir. So Volley Bear, as we know, doesn't have any early game units, or most Volley Bears don't. So just passes on the turn. But oh man, Leroy, as early as that
Yeah,
opening turn, a sabotage. That's
yeah,
kind of tough, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, the fact that you can play sabotage, and as a green player, the fact that you can play sabotage and you cannot defy it because you did, I mean, start playing is just disgusting. And you can see that aura. I think it's going to be tossed right away, and there it is. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, and that is a big key component of Volibear's game plan. So Aurora no longer allowed to be played. I mean, hopefully he draws another one down the road, but perhaps trying to repay the favor with a sabotage of his own, because we see one in hand, and at 4 runes, I don't think he has any other play. So passes it forward because sabotage does have to recycle a rune. So trying to preserve the rune economy for the time being. But Sivir isn't necessarily too fast of a deck either, just kind of establishing out the chosen champion for now and passes it over. So no, not really a fast, speedy game. It's kind of like slow and steady wins the race for now.
Exactly, and I think Sevilla will need to draw Ezreal to really get activated because it looks like a miracle deck that we've seen. I think the first time it was sort of revealed the word was with Randy, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such an amazing. I remember watching this. We were like watching the tournament together, and yeah, it was great. And let's see now, because it's a really hard deck to play. Oh, and speaking of the devil, it's a really hard deck to play. So let's see. I'm curious to see the level of mastery that this Sevilla player can pull out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Speaking of skill level for this player, I think he's made multiple top 4 cuts in our weekly events, so he's no slouch himself. So hopefully he can pilot it as good. Maybe not as well as Randy, of course, but perhaps he knows what he's doing with the Silver deck. A card we don't get to see too often, but did make a bit of an appearance out there in the Vegas regional is Minotaur. Minotaur Rekner, I believe. It's actually a bit of a counterplay to those Draven builds that try to go in and then Reavers row back out. It kind of hinders the game plan of Aurelia's as well, so units can't move to base. It's kind of like a Valmon's Lair, but a permanent passive effect. How do you feel about that card, Leroy?
I think it's a really good tech in this meta. I think this card will be on and off depending on how the meta is shaped, but right now, yeah, it's good against Draven, but it is also really good against the likes of Lucian. It's really good against Irelia. There are a lot of decks that are strongly affected by this card.
Exactly right. So I think it is a bit of a meta call. So I like what Volibear is cooking here today. And just a little bit of a side note, if you guys are wondering why is that card, the Edge of Night, revealed on the battlefield, remember guys, all the cards are revealed to us, but that is a hidden card, of course. So there is a bit of an Edge of Night, and the stream, we could say that on stream because we have a big delay, so players can't, hopefully they are not watching the stream. But the first dragon of this round, the Dire Wing. You know, Leroy, I don't think I've seen Volibear Dragons play too much. What does this Dire Wing do? I enter ready if I control another dragon. Okay, so just a big 7/7 body.
Yeah, which, I mean, entering already is, I think, really powerful. And you can see that it chose to play this one to optimize the curve, I guess, even if it's not ready right now. The second one will be enabled. We got Carl the Green ready to enter too. Yeah, it's really interesting to see this deck, and I think Volibear is the one aura deck that can sort of manage to play without aura through his legend ability.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. You just have a couple more units because as we saw from the Bologna Regional, I believe the one Aurora deck that made it all the way to the finals, he was just running about maybe 4 or 5 units total. On the other side, like you were pointing out, Volibear has a good amount of units. So in the situations like we're seeing here where they don't draw the Aurora, oh, and wait a second, the Cadogan, as you said, coming down, that's a massive +3 draw, picking up those 3 cards we see at the top. That is huge because now it's a 7/7 going straight into most likely the Zon Warrens. But how much might is on there right now? It's 4 plus the last right 6. And then we know it's hidden, but the Volibear player doesn't know. So this is a little tricky. I wonder what he wants to do with those last 2 runes.
I think a challenge between Cardring and Sivir seems quite good. I mean, you can be afraid of a punch first, but anyway, you will have to go for it at one point. And I mean, no, you're not afraid of a punch first because Sivir cannot do anything about it. Oh, and it will choose to go for Falling Star because I think he wants to remove Ezreal. And yeah, now you just send the Drake, I guess. Dire Wing.
I believe so, right? It has 3 damage on it. So even with that hidden card that we know what it is, oh, and he sends everything in case it's something like a fight or flight hidden before. So coming in with 12 total might, he should be able to conquer Zon Warrens and get his first point of the game. Is this where Volibear tries to mount a bit of a stabilization point and kind of get back into this game? Because if we look at the hand of Sivir, she's lacking those kind of draw tools that we're used to seeing from her, right? The call shots, the stacked decks. Right now, her hand's feeling a little bit low on gas, isn't it?
Yeah, I think one call shot got discarded by the... not discarded, but got recycled by the Sabotage. And she drew Ezreal right after, which... I mean, she could have had the combo, but this Sabotage did a lot of damage.
Yeah, it really did a number, but now Volibear going up to his 2 points. And Draven is a card that most likely is able to get him back in this game, but with the lack of cards and of course a challenge coming down, you do have to pay the deflect cost by Cadogan the Dragon, a whole lot bigger than the Draven, and that is a disastrous blow for the Sivir player. Little by little, it feels like Volibear just having all the answers. And Leroy, who would have thought that Volibear had more card advantage than a Sivir Miracle deck, right? Kind of crazy.
Yeah, but I'm not that surprised because we know that Green is can draw like so many cards, and actually, it's something that I talked about with a Volibear player where they get exhausted by Green because it draws like 6 cards in one summon. Yeah, it can be something.
Yeah, it really is something so far. And interesting enough, playing an equipment Doran's Blade, we don't get to see that too often. Usually more in the likes of Fiora, Lucian builds, but playing it in a Volibear deck, I mean, I don't hate it. It just feels like your units are already tall enough. It almost seems unnecessary. What would you say perhaps that equipment is for? Can you think of anything in particular, or just more
Yeah,
might
it's
is
just
better?
so that, yeah, I think it's just so that you have some turn two potentially, some turn one, turn two plays. Um, and you can play them early, and it's not like units that will be played by the Aurora. So yeah, I think it's a good compromise uh, where you have some early game presence, but um, you don't compromise your Aurora plays.
Mm-hmm. And oh my goodness, another one. Cadrigan number 2 coming down. That's going to be an impressive +4 draw. And you're looking at pretty much every card in your deck at this point. Look at the massive card advantage in the hand for Volibear player. Picks up the card he was most likely looking a couple turns ago. But adds the Doran Blade on top. This is looking like a huge defensive front for the Volibear player. I don't know how Sivir's going to be able to crack this on Warrens. And to make matters worse, just challenge after challenge. Thankfully, because of all those draws they've been able to pick up, this is looking tough. Extremely,
It's
extremely
looking
tough for Sivir.
super tough. Yeah, in League of Legends terms, we would say FF at 15.
I can
Um,
agree.
the game's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if there's one card that can bring her back into the game, I think it's Ezreal, draw free. Maybe use that feast to get another cold shot. Oh no, the cold shot is not in this card. it's 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 over.
Wow, you're totally right. There was no call shot being played out, and a little bit unfortunate for Sivir because usually Fizz is such a great unit to play out here. Kind of recur, as you said, a free call shot with the Ezreal already developed out. You have so much gold, you have so much seals, but you're just lacking the cards to kind of utilize and make full use of all those cards, all those resources you have at hand. You know, you're going up to your 3rd gold, but what are we able to do with that? This is looking like a rather huge uphill climb for Sivir. And with the lack of like removal tools, perhaps if she had something like I would say challenge, but your units aren't that big, right? Volibear's units are just massive.
No, you can't challenge anything there. No, I think you're looking for some rebukes, I guess, but even then, like Volibear is already at 6. So you need to do something next turn. And yeah, I was like, it should be the Pharaoh's Forerunner. And now what? There's this punch first that can come online and disrupt anything, even if there's this fight of light.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. There's so much option. I mean, there is, as you mentioned, the punch first to try to defend, but even without that punch first, let's see what's going down. So Ezreal pushes on zone warrants. He's looking at a massive amount of might. What is that? 10, 19, 21 might, bringing that up to 26 total might. He punched first, and you know, purple decks are all about moving units, right? So Minotaur Reckoner, such a big nuisance against their game plan. So trades 1 for one. The dragon falls, but what are we able to do here? There's just one too much might on both of these battlefields. I think Volibear will be walking away with this game number one of this round number one, pushing the traveling merchant just to draw two. Stack deck just to see double challenge and a call shot. So he's digging, Leroy. I just don't know if there's
Yeah.
truly any
Okay.
answers in the deck.
Now you're wishing that you had the Vex.
Right.
So to have that free cold shot. Okay. What are we playing right now? Raza, I guess. Because the on the hand cannot do much. Oh, it's rebuke. Yeah, it's rebuke.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
So yeah, if there was one card to save it all, it's probably rebuke.
Yeah, I think that's one bit of a saving grace because you don't move anything when you return things back to hand. So rebuke, return the Minotaur, but you're still a little bit shy from taking down the Cadogan up at 11 total might. But now you're definitely able to fight or flight. So putting some points on the board, perhaps trying to see more cards with the Zon Warren's Conquer as well. So going up to 3. And let's see, is there anything? If he draws a Rasa, I mean, he's able to replay because of the last right. Let's take a look at what units are in the trash. Okay, the Ezreal looks to be the pickup.
Okay, so probably tossing the traveling merchant. Okay, good pick. Okay, another good pick.
Yeah, not too bad, but even with that punch first, such a phenomenal card, but you're only going up to 8 might. The big bad dragon is sitting pretty at 9 total might, and there's not too much more that you can do about that. Sivir readies because you destroyed a sabotage number 2 of Sivir's game going in, but the only viable option being the Dazzling Aurora. And you know, to the excellent point you made earlier in this game, Volibear didn't really need Aurora, did they? They did so well without it. I'm truly impressed.
Yeah, there was absolutely no need whatsoever for the Aurora play. And weirdly enough, now he can just kind of chill, you know. It's like, I don't need to erase Sivir is only at 3 points. I can just develop a Bajillion Might board and then get my 8th point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Sivir's trying to set up some kind of hold strategy, but you are way too far behind on point tempo as Volibear gets his 7th point of this game number 1. And Cadogan with a triple Minotaur in hand. It looks like he's taking your advice there. He doesn't really have to push the other battlefield. You simply have to hold for the win. You're at 7. One more hold with only an Ezreal in the back line with the lack of ganking capabilities, I think is all but over. Volibear should be able to hold
Okay,
with
cold
what is
shot.
okay. We're digging here.
What's that?
Oh, the Spirit Blossom Yone. I love to see it. I think he's an underrated
real.
card in body decks, but in this situation isn't going to be able to do too much, but I would love to see him come out and play in this next round.
Yeah, and I mean, you would need a punch first almost to... Oh no, you can take out a Minotaur. So yeah, it can be good. And that's the other CVR, right?
Yeah, that's the body one. You're absolutely right. So I believe it works a little bit like what's the I always forget the name. Is the CEO, the Riot CEO's name? Do you know what I'm talking about, Leroy?
Tryndamere?
Tryndamere, yes. It has a very similar effect to Tryndamere, but I believe it just has to do... All right, let's take a read here. So when I conquer after an attack, if you assign 5 or more excess damage to enemy units, you may deal that much unit to do that much damage to enemy units. So it's like a Yone and a Tryndamere together.
Yeah, and in between, sort of.
Mm-hmm. But just like that, we are moving on to game number 2. Volibear surprising everyone. I hear someone in chat, maybe a couple minutes ago since we're on stream delay, say, imagine a world where Volibear, or where Miracle Sivir getting smoked by Volibear. I wasn't expecting that, but it's cool to see.
Yeah, and smoke is probably the right word because she got stomped this game.
Yeah, respectfully stomped, of course. No disrespect to the players, but yes, just how the action went down on screen. Volibear took her down very convincingly. And I'm hearing here that maybe YouTube isn't on stream delay. If you guys are watching on YouTube, type 1 in chat when you hear what I'm saying right now. Just so I can gauge if we are on delay. I'm pretty sure we are on a delay. It might just, I mean, you guys have no way of really knowing, but if I don't see any ones in the chat, then I know we're good on delay. Oh, you guys aren't on a big delay then. We might have to hide the cards, Leroy. It's like a very minimal delay, like a very slight delay.
Oh, on
Wow,
YouTube, there's
okay,
not.
I'm impressed. That's a whole
Yeah,
lot
on
of
YouTube, there's
ones.
not. Yeah, with the time that they receive you, that means the delay was on Twitch, but did not apply on YouTube, I guess.
That is so lame. I might go down and back up and then maybe just do hide cards. You know, this is the first time we try a stream delay for both dual streams because last time when we did the tournament, last time when we did open hand tournament, it wasn't a multi-stream. So yeah, I can see this might get a little tricky because I don't want players to tune in on YouTube and get such a massive advantage. I would hope these players could be honest and not stream snipe.
Yeah.
But we still shouldn't take the risk. What do you think, Leroy? Should we
The-
just hide the hands?
Um, yeah, I mean, maybe for this game, but the good thing was anyway they used sabotage, so they knew that their opponent had anyway. But yeah, if you want for this game, you can turn off the end and maybe restart the stream after or cut YouTube.
Yeah, I think we'll do that, guys. So after this round, we'll go down. And then, so I'll hide the camera just out of respect for these players because it looks like the YouTube stream isn't too far. It looks like it was like a minute delay by the time you guys. So there is a delay, but not a big enough delay like I had over on Twitch, which is interesting. And speaking of interesting, Yone coming down, and that's the Spirit Blossom. A lot of people's favorite artwork out of Spiritforged. And Charlie Merchant does manage to get his first point of the game, and that is a Rockfall Path. So I like what he's doing, but that's Sivir on Rockfall Path, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's to like contest the power oath from the Dravens. It's been played in several decks. I think it's really an anti-Draven tech.
Yeah, I think it is too. Like those Devlin Predators can't be played on that battlefield, or pretty much anything. Once you hold that battlefield, you can't keep stacking on units to make it even a more massive battlefield to take down. So I think it's a decently good battlefield for this matchup, and probably for a lot of other matchups as well. As Sivir wants to go a little bit later because she's able to draw a lot, and the further this game goes, the more available answers and tools she's going to be able to have. But Sabotage trying to remove some of those tools. Let's take a look behind the hood. There's the last right, a call shot.
And the shovel is I think it's going to be instant shovel because if it gets equipped on Yone, you can just take out the Dire Wing next turn.
Yeah, I think it's looking like a shovel pick to me, and that is exactly what Volibear agreed. So goes ahead and recycles it back to the bottom. It goes, and you know, a card we actually didn't get to talk about too much. It was the card currently Herald of the Scales, which it was a card that came out in Origins, and we were all wondering, when is this card actually going to be viable? It looks like Volibear Dragons is the perfect legend to run this card. All your dragon units cost 2 less, so that Dire Wing coming down for 5, and then a couple other dragons that I can't think of the top of my head because it's the first time truly looking at this Volibear Dragons list. But I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny to me because I think it was literally the same effect in Legends of Runeterra. I think it was 1 less or something like that.
Yeah, I can see it. And Sivir having a bit more answers this round, right? So call shot, stack deck. I believe this might be the second call shot. So having more tools available, and without the Minotaur coming down already, so we'll have things like Fight or Flight to push those big units back. I say big, but that Herald of the Scales is only at 3 might so far. If there's a world that Yone can buff up above 7, maybe something. I mean, I would hate to invest a punch first, but you do get to conquer Obelisk and then go ahead and snipe the back line. I don't know if that's a worthy investment, but something to be considered of course. Silver does develop out a gold, and I'm wondering what those last four cards, because we just saw the hand. It was a seal. It wasn't, he took the shovel away. It was a seal, something else, and something else. I can't
There was a
recall.
stack deck, a cold shot, and the shovel, I think.
Right, right.
Um,
Oh,
uh,
you know
uh,
what?
but I'm wondering, did he recycle for the seal?
You
I,
mean,
I'm
I believe so.
did
He
he
probably paid a gold for the seal. That's what it was.
Yeah, but no, he paid the gold for the gold shot, I think. But okay, so now he recycled one more. So yeah, he paid for the seal now.
Yeah, and look at that, Leroy. Look how big of a difference delay, because Twitch is just hitting us with the one. So yeah, guys, we'll go down. We'll go down and then
Yeah,
come back up just to be on the same page between Twitch and YouTube right after this round one. So in between the intermission, we'll go down for a little bit. That way we're both on the same timeline. And then we'll go hidden cards for this event. But I am trying to go open hand. I do want to go open hand. So maybe by next week's weekly, I'll figure out how to do stream delay on both sides. That way we can get the hands. And we finally see Direwing's ability getting procced off when you have a dragon inner ready. So 14 total
yeah.
might coming straight to Yone. I don't think there's
I mean,
very much Yone can do. You go up to 7, perhaps a
yeah, you
rebuke,
will
but
be
you don't
able to
have two.
trade one.
What was that?
You will be able to trade one, which is good.
Exactly. So not the worst, but as we saw from this game number one recently, Volibear, once you start having these big tall units on these battlefields, it really poses such a problem for Sivir, as her units, I mean, the Yone was probably about the bigger unit she had. Granted, she does have a chosen champion right now. She's able to accelerate that. That goes up to 6, and then with the Edge of Night, we'll be going up to 8. So there is a world where you take down this Dire Wing. Do you want to tap out to do so? And are you a little bit hesitant about that one little energy, Leroy? Are we nervous about a punch first, perhaps?
I think we are. I think I would be. It's definitely a decisive card in orange. And I correct me if I'm wrong, but did she play sabotage this game?
Yeah, she definitely did. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, maybe she didn't. Maybe it was Volibear who
Volley
sabotaged.
did, but I was not sure about her. And that means that if Volley managed to pick up himself a little Aurora, it will be able to be played this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. We saw the power scale for Volibear without a Dazzling Aurora. Imagine how powerful, and you kind of just spoke it into
Oh,
existence, Leroy. The sabotage coming in from Sivir, but there was just a whole lot of units, not
nothing.
too many spells, so a bit of a whiff, if you will, for the sabotage. And I'm a little bit scared because we saw how powerful that Cadogan was in game number one. In this situation, you will draw 2, but draw 2 is decently good, right? Draw 2 is what Call Shot effectively does, but the rebuke putting the big old dragon back to hand, and Sivir little by little trying to hold on to this game.
Yeah, and it's a much better start for her than last game, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And now Volibear will have to kind of reset the board. And I spoke about Aurora, but your opponent is playing Akshan. Do you maybe side out of Aurora on game 2 because you're scared of this action?
That's a very interesting question. I can see a world where you do side out Akshan as the falling star comes down, eliminating the Ezreal, but I kind of agree with that. The only counter I would say is you kind of have a lot of good units to hit off Dazzling Aurora. You run 3 of them. I don't know if you would side it all out, but to your point, you can play without it. So I can see a world where you can. I'm just not totally sure about the full strategy or like the cyborg strategy for Volibear Dragons, but I wouldn't blame him to do so. It seems smart to do so.
Yeah, I mean, especially playing against Orange. That's the thing. Against
Mm-hmm.
anyone else, you would not side it probably, even if it can get removed. But here, if it gets stolen, that's even worse. especially against Severe, who can cycle fast a deck. And
Right, that makes a good point because I was playing in a summoner scrimmage just last night, and against a player, he was running Trinity Force. He was a Master Yi player, and in anticipation of going into game two, people citing in gear removal, he actually sided out all his Trinity Force. So it's something along the lines of what you're saying. So I think a smart player kind of thinks one step ahead of what your opponent might be bringing to the table. So kind of making those gear removals pretty much useless in these game two. And I don't think we saw this card in game number one. It is gonna be the Duke Drake. When I attack, give me +2 if there is a ready unit here. Okay, so it's just +2. Okay, it makes sense with the Dire Wing, I guess. Wait, a ready unit here, so it could be your opponent's unit or your own unit.
yeah, and Direwing choosing to not go. It entered ready, but it will not go onto any battlefield.
Yeah,
So
interesting enough, right? He
yeah,
doesn't want to
he's
conquer.
slowing down the pace.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps scared of
Rewards.
something like a rebuke or a fight or flight just to easily push him back, but he probably, I mean, he was going up to odd numbers, so I could totally respect keeping your units back, perhaps letting Sivir push onto the battlefields first, kind of exhaust out his units, and then you could kind of get a bigger picture. Do you have some good conquers or not? As the Yone number 2 comes down, so this Miracle Sivir, maybe less Miracle, maybe more Spice, because this Yone is not a typical pick for the
Yeah.
Sivir decks, is it?
Yeah, maybe a bit of mid-range. And now I'm super scared of that Ride the Wind or on the hunt.
Oh, Leroy, the on the hunt Yone conquering an unoccupied battlefield, doing 7 massive damage to one of the units in the back line. If I am Sivir, I am looking straight at that Dire Wing. 7 damage coming in from Yone, and it's not like a challenge. You don't have to do damage onto yourself. Actually, that is a way better target. What am I talking about? I'm over here thinking about might. You want to take care of the more valuable unit being that Minotaur,
And there
and
it
the
is.
ride the wind double unoccupied conquer. That is massive blowout for Volley
Okay.
Bear.
Yeah. And he was tapped up, so there was no way he could have done anything. I mean, he could not have done anything anyway. But and now and she saves the Yone. She preserves the Yone, putting him back in base, retreating it. And now Cadra Green looks a bit sad with only 2 draw. I mean, 2 draw is not bad, but he would have had like 5 draws to turn the turn before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that ride the wind was beautiful to see. And ooh, a show of strength. Draw one for each of your mighty units. We don't get to see that too often. Yeah, I guess it works well specifically in Volibear decks. It's a little expensive, a 2 cost, 2 power, but you are drawing a good amount, and it looks to be reaction speed too, funny enough. So yeah, draw one for each of your mighty units. So perhaps they go down, react to it, get a couple value draws before your units go down. So nice. I think this is one of the first times I actually see Show of Strength being played.
It is the first time I see it on my side.
Right. Volibear, of course, does get that 3rd point, pushing that Dune Drink into the Rock Ball. But as we noticed, the Sivir just having so much more tools available in this game number 2. Those call shots doing wonders. Those stack decks doing work as well. And Yone has a conquer on an unoccupied battlefield. He just doesn't have enough might to take down that big dragon in the back unless there's something like a last right currently in the hand. That's going to bring up that 7 might up to 9 total might. That will be a picture perfect opportunity for Sivir. Let's see if he has it. I almost want to take a sneak peek, Leroy. But no, we'll be fair.
Yeah.
We'll keep it fair.
I was thinking right the same. And what could it be? 2 mana. Oh, challenge. Okay.
Not too bad. So
Removing
it
the-
does take down the Dune Drake. But I believe potentially he's not looking at the Cadogan in the back line. He does conquer. He does some damage back there, but unless he has any other damage, it looks just like a double conquer turn for Sivir. So going up to 7 points, looking very good to close this game number 2 and bring us into that decisive game number 3. Rossi gets played out with one Cadrigan currently on Volibear's board. I don't think Volibear has too much accelerated pressure besides the Direwing, because this guy is a dragon, isn't he? Yeah, he's definitely a dragon, of course. So
Yeah.
Direwing could enter ready, but look how much runes he has available. I'm a little bit scared of something like a Rebuke, a Fight or Flight, especially with the hidden card. I think Sivir might have just locked this one in.
Yeah. And what I noticed is he used challenge to remove uh, the Dune Drake that was on the battlefield instead of just going for the conquer. And doing this, he avoided the potential punch first
Right.
because there was one rune left open. And you know, it's nothing, but it's these small details that make the difference between a good player and a really good player.
Right. I totally agree. It does make it's like being very, very intentional with your card playing and your sequencing, right? So making sure you play around all your counters. So yeah, trying to play around that punch first, as you mentioned before. But with that Rebuke, that might have just been the final nail in the coffin. Volleyball player probably seen the writings on the walls. There's a double units on both of these. There's one unit each on these battlefields. All you need to do is hold one of them, of course, and I think that is a GG scoop. We are going into a game 3, Leroy.
Yeah, really interesting matchup. I don't think like Volibear could not do much because yeah, once Sivir was online with the draws, with everything, he could not like withstand the pace that she was the pressure that she was putting on.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of pressure. I think the big difference maker in that matchup was just drawn into the more card recursion cards like those call shells, like those stack decks. It really started getting carried away. On top of, I believe, the Ezreals and the scrap heaps. But if there's one battlefield that will give that Volibear player the breathing room he needs to try to develop out those Auroras, to develop out those bigger units, it will be the Aspirant Climb. But I will say, I don't think Sivir hates too much going a bit later, because the later it goes, the more cards you have in hand. And this is a big ramp slash going late game type game. It looks like Obelisk of Power and Aspirant Climb. There's going to be a lot of big units earlier than we would imagine.
Yeah, and those two battlefields are really good for Volibear. And yeah, it's really. I would be kind of scared if I was Sivir to be in this position where the two battlefields are giving an edge to my opponent.
Yeah, you're definitely right. You know, something I just realized, he's lacking a bit of the traditional ramp strategy cards from traditional Aurora decks, right? We haven't seen too much of a Mobilize. We haven't seen too much of Catalyst of Aeons. Potentially, I believe Dazzling Aurora is like a backup plan. Usually your units are the backup plan to Dazzling Aurora. But it looks to me that you're not too caught up on the strategy of, you know, ramp, and drop the Aurora, right? Because if you did, you would have those mentioned cards, as we said, Mobilize, Catalyst. But we haven't seen those in 2 games. I'm going to bet he's just not running them in the deck. What do you think, Leroy? You think he's actually running those, or we just haven't seen him?
No, I don't think so, because that's what we saw with the equipments, is choosing to have those little 2 drops instead of the regular Mobilize and so on. And yeah, is ramping through just the Volibear Legend ability, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I
I'm not
believe
sure.
so.
He might have them and we just might have not seen them, but it would make sense if he did not run any of these ramping cards.
Yeah, it does make absolute it makes sense to me because, as you pointed out, the Volibear ability, every time you play a unit in that mighty status 5 or more, you get a free rune, right? So you're effectively, as long as you're playing out units, not only are you progressing your board state, but you're also getting closer and closer to those Dazzling Auroras the further this game goes. And speaking of the difference maker of that game number 2, Kawshaw coming in for this game number 3. We can't see exactly what he picks at the top, but it will be a repeated thanks to that Ezreal coming down. So picking up 2 cards for Sivir, has 7 runes to work with. Let's see what they go ahead and play out this turn. Has a couple options, I would imagine. Doesn't really want to push too easily onto, I mean, he could conquer with a Child Immersion just because it's a bit of a sacrificial unit, but you want to be careful conquering. And oh, the big bad Yone coming down. He did so much work in that game number 2. Let's see how good he's going to be able to do in game
Oh, is
number
it the right to
3.
win? If it's the right to win, that's 2 kills.
Imagine that. We'll see. He
And
does
this
end up.
time, the on the hunt has been discarded um, through
It
the.
did, yeah.
Oh yeah, but it was through the sabotage. No, no, it was through the. Wait, through the
The Ezreal, I
nurture.
believe.
Oh yeah, through the Israel. Okay.
Because I think the Sabotage targeted the Sabotage, which technically the Sabotage in Volibear's deck should be recycled at the bottom, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a difference maker. But ride the win, as you pointed out, coming through. Yone conquering another uncontrolled battlefield, taking down the Dune Drake in the back, and then coming right back to safety. Those ride the wins are impressive for Sivir.
Yeah, they are doing so much work. Getting some points, destroying the Volibear's board, but also preserving a unit from any combats. That's what we saw 2 times in a row. Yone going back in base, avoiding any combats, but also this thing where he does he can go back and conquer again the next turn to trigger his ability.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, honestly,
this
Yone has been so impressive this game, this best of 3 series. I was saying it before the game started. I feel like Yone's a bit underexplored, a bit underestimated in the Spiritforged meta, and perhaps Miracle Sivir here to show us. I don't even think we could truly call this Miracle Sivir. I think we should just call it like mid-range Sivir, because Yone seems to be one of the more key components to this strategy. Goes with the stack deck to start things off, double stack deck to start things off, and Yone does have one uncontrolled battlefield, but that Volibear is at 10 might. How in the world, unless, are we crazy enough to go for a punch first Yone? I am tempted.
I don't know, because that's 2 runes for the punch first and then 2 runes for the deflect.
Oh
That's
yeah,
starting to be a lot of the cost is heavy.
super heavy. But I mean, the value that the Volibear unit gets is pretty massive as well. Because even without having to do any combat, you do 5 damage every time you go ahead and attack onto a battlefield. That's currently all the all the current might Yone has. But here we go, little by little, he's trying to put a bit more might onto that Yone card. So Doran's Blade coming through, attaches it onto it. So 7 to 5, just for a straightforward conquer. So Sivir will be able to get her 3rd point onto the board. And right now, essentially in that even point tempo because the Aspirant climbs, right? Well, I mean, going up to 4 changes things up, but you do want to conquer more than you do want to conquer as often as you can against the likes of a Volibear player. And now he has to decide whether you want to go ahead and take down Yone or Sivir. But something you have to be mindful of is those rebukes. But as you point out, that's a deflect too. That's 4 runes out the gate. I don't know if it's worth it, but maybe a double hold might just be worth the rebuke.
I don't know, because that's 10 mana cards that you're removing. This being said, maybe you would just rather use a little fight or flight so that you can still preserve some runes, because now
True.
rebuke it will be not only tapped out, but no runes at all whatsoever.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It would literally take you back to square one as the red Volibear pushes into Yone saying, what do you have with those last 2 runes? Are you going to go ahead and do the big ambitious play and go down to 0 runes? And that he is, Leroy.
You called it.
Rebuke
You called
coming
it.
down.
Okay.
He says, 4 runes. Who needs 4 runes? I'm chilling with the 2 conquer points. I'm going up to 6. That's 3 more points away from closing out this game. I have 2 gold, so a bit of a saving grace. You still have some power resources going forward, but you won't be able to do too much this very next turn. But perhaps he's thinking about just recalling back his units, taking those 6 points, because you have a massive point advantage right now. You're 6 points to just 1. And Volibear is thinking, do I have any counterplay? I don't think Volibear could do anything about this.
I'm trying to think, but I don't think so. So now he's just thinking, is my opponent insane?
Yeah.
He wants to play without any runes.
Oh, the Thermo Beam, a huge punish against the Sivir goal generating game plan. And Thermo Beam also removes, oh, the 5 damage from the, wait.
What?
Combat was done. Wait. What's
Yeah?
going on?
What?
Combat Thermo Beam is an action. Oh,
Yeah.
action speed
Oh, okay,
Thermo Beam.
Oh yeah, because he discarded his Drake first, so yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we got bamboozled.
Yeah, what an incredible
Oh,
play. No one ever uses Thermo
challenge.
Beam during a combat, right? So it does the 5 damage from the Dune Drake and then bringing it back into 5 might because of Thermo Beam. So a bit of an impressive play we don't get to see too often, but little by little we do see that Sivir player going up to 6 total points. 6-1 is still a big lead. There is no current units on the battlefield for Volleyball player. If he's able to play out something like a dragon into a dire wing, but that's maybe just one too many runes in one single turn, because I think he desperately needs to try to accelerate out. I just don't think he has the tools, but he does have decent enough cards in hand. But
I mean,
this
if you
is
play
getting dangerous.
the Scorcher is 5 mana, and the Dire Wing is 7. The Dune Drake is 5 mana also, right? So there is, he could potentially play this Dire Wing.
Yeah, 5 and 7, utilizing the entire 12 runes for Volleyball player. The fact that he hasn't slammed it down, a bit of a telltale sign. He might not have that picture perfect card combination. Instead, electing to go for the Sabotage. One of those 3 cards might be pretty valuable. And there it is, as you point out before. When you're going against a body deck against Aurora, you have to count on something like an Action being in the sideboard. So taking out the challenge there, or actually it was something else. What did you take out?
No, it was oh, Fight or Flight.
That's what it was. Right.
Okay. A Reckoner. And now.
Oh, the Stormbringer
Stormbringer.
signature spell. Choose a friendly unit, deal that much damage to an enemy battlefield. And I think you moved me there. Wait a second. Unless you don't move me there, a bit of a takesy backsies says, wait, I don't think I want to go for a Stormbringer. I have to read the card because, to be perfectly honest, you don't get to see too many Volibear players. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it reads
inflict the might and then move there. If I'm that's the Yasuo spell. No, I don't remember what the stop.
We'll read it, but I know it does damage equal to your might to the entire battlefield. That I do know. I just can't recall if it does move. Perhaps the YouTube chat that's a little bit less delay would let us know here shortly. But Volibear having 6 runes left to play this turn, 4 runes or 4 cards remaining to Sivir's 2. This is getting awfully close. And okay, thank you, Diggity. So it does indeed move. So moves deal damage. What can that Stormbringer not do? Show a strength coming down. At least one more draw for the Minotaur. Little by little, Volibear trying to get back into this game, because right now a point up to 7. That's just a double conquer opportunity. But Falling Star is going to try to equalize things here.
Okay, so he is saying you won't be able to ready anything, which, I mean, fair enough. Would be hard with 3 runes. Action discarded, so I mean, didn't have any choice. But considering that Volibear probably removed Aurora because we didn't see any. yeah, action is a bit useless there.
Yeah, so it does make sense to pitch it as it was the only card remaining. Does recycle one most likely to go ahead and attach the Edge of Night? That way you're 5-5 against the Minotaur. That way you at least trade evenly if Volibear wants to go ahead and approach or go ahead and try to conquer that battlefield cores. But 7-1. There's just 2 more points remaining for Sivir closing out this game number 1. But she's the one running heavily low on rune economy on every kind of aspect of this game. Has a couple more
Advert
units, but
Ring.
2 cards in hand can't feel great as the Volibear player that got rebuked for the massive 4 runes earlier does come down one more time.
Can't count apparently. Okay. One has rolled down.
Call of the Hunt Rasa, Leroy? Call of the Hunt Rasa is the 1-2 punch that Sivir needs. You conquer one with the Ezreal. Call of the Hunt is 2 energy. Rasa comes in with a power. Let's see, are the last 3 remaining cards as crazy as that, or are we just getting a bit ahead of ourselves?
Yeah, it could be Ride the Wind.
True. I believe we might have just seen
are
one. Oh, and he passes, keeping 4 runes up for the next
Oh.
turn.
Okay, so is she thinking anyway I won't be able to save Ezreal? Or is it only... Does she have a full plan, a full bulletproof plan for next turn? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, that's what everyone
Oh.
here is wondering as well. As the Herald of Scales come down, Direwing only played out for 5 total energy, so setting up 17 total might for Sivir to overcome, which is a lot harder than you would imagine. I mean, exactly as you would imagine, honestly. 17 is no joke. So you do have a conquer up to 8. You potentially have a whole strategy in the works, right? There's not an easy way for... Actually, I say that I have to reread Stormbringer. I'll pull it up here as well. Does Stormbringer specifically say from base? Because if you could gank over something like the Lucian signature spell, let me go ahead and pull it up just to make sure. And it looks like he does something a bit more straightforward. Okay. The challenge to go ahead and take down the Ezreal on the left-hand side. So even though he's at 8, imagine a world where this is the stabilization point for Volibear player. Wait, he challenged, but he drew? What are we missing there?
What? No. The Ezreal challenged, the severe challenge with Ezreal, the Herald of Scale.
Oh, makes sense. For some reason, I thought he already passed the turn, but now he does pass the turn as Volibear player holds up to 3. So I like that play, right? You get any kind of backline unit so that they can't push up. As we pointed out, you have an attempt for the hold for the win. In this situation, shouldn't we have played the Rasa into the Obelisk?
I don't know, because if there is the Stormbringer, he knows that there's a Stormbringer. So anyway, if he stacks up, it will be dead to the Stormbringer, right? Because it targets all units.
Makes sense. Of course, there could be another Dire Wing since you do have a dragon already established out on the board. So sends one in, and now the Stormbringer most likely will be played out as we saw that was enhanced. So Stormbringer, the signature spell, 7 damage across that battlefield. And of course, you move, so 4 points. That's halfway there. Effectively halfway there. Volibear player inching his way back, and that good old core rule saying you have to conquer both battlefields in order to win is the true detriment to Sivir right now, because he has a conquer most likely, but how will he conquer both is the question. So goes ahead and attach the Edge of Night. You can take down the dragon unless a punch first ride the win. Oh, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Challenge to take down 1.
Okay. And that's what we talked about. Like he's playing around the punch first, doing that.
Draws one because he's at 8. You can't conquer up to 9. So final card to pick up for this game. A punch runs into a ride the wind. Might just steal this game. Does he have something of the like? Goes ahead and floats the energy. Gets a
Fight or
gold.
flight?
He has a call
Oh,
shot.
no, the
Wait
cold
a
shot, the cold
minute.
shot.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm smelling some victory here. Is it happening?
Yeah, we're smelling some kind of sauce getting cooked up in the Sivers kitchen. Can they pull the exact card combinations to inch out this victory? You have to take down 10 total might. Your Ross is currently chilling at 8 might. All you need is something. I mean, first you need to ride the wind, of course, but on top of that, you need a bit of a pump. A stack deck might be another card to edge your way there little by little. Sivers trying to put together the pieces of the puzzle. Can they find the cards? I mean, granted, Leroy, there's only 14 cards left in the deck. You have to find something what you need. The odds are with you.
Probably, yeah. No. Yeah, because there are a lot of outs, right? You just need to take out this Volibear with whatever and then ride the wind. On the hunt is still discarded. Or you can just get your Rider Wind, your Rebuke, and so on, and try to hold. But you're not playing around challenge. Okay, I'm curious. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I am excited as well. These are the final moments of this round number 1. A very impressive round number 1 to kickstart our event today. Going up to 5 points, of course, with a hold. Now the question stands, is there a secondary Stormbringer? You recall back the big red Volibear. Stormbringer one more time, because you no longer have a dragon on the battlefield, so you can't go ahead and accelerate out a Direwing. Even if you did, it only has 7 might to the total 8 might of Rasa. So there is one thing Sivir wants to do, and that is hold. You get to draw 2 as a Volibear player, but what are you realistically doing with 3 runes, Leroy? I think Sivir might have closed this one out, unless there's a challenge.
But the challenge can... She must have hard bargain, no? I think if she has hard bargain, it's over anyway. Okay, so here's the challenge. Is it the hard bargain?
Challenge? Is there any hard bargain in the hand? Because the challenge is exactly the 1 card Volibear player needed to take down the hold strat, and that is an elimination of Rasa holding it down.
This game is crazy. This game is crazy.
Yeah, crazy round number 1 to start things off. The challenge does get hit for Volibear player, and there is no units in sight for Sivir. You don't have your chosen champion, so you can't accelerate. Even if you did, he moved the backline Volibear player, so you go ahead and conquer the next turn. Little by little, I think this Volibear player might be able to get there. Rasa has to go ahead and try to hold, or I should say double conquer this next turn as well. Fizz could get you there. It looks like it might be a pickup, something like a called shot one more time. Oh, the on the hunt. Wait a minute. Rasa with a punch first might be able to get there.
Yeah, but then Volibear can't have a punch first.
Yeah, that is a big can't have a punch first indeed. Fizz picks up a card from being at 8, can't conquer to 9 of course. This is the moment of truth. Rasa coming in. You probably should attach the Edge of Night, but I don't think the map would change anyways. You do punch first?
That's a review. That's a review.
Of course.
And then there's nothing to do. It's a very severe one.
Wow, incredible game to start off today's weekly tournament. We thought it was so back and forth. Volibear player with a valiant effort, so close, but just not enough. Sivir player getting it done from the back of a rebuke. GG, and what a great way to start off today, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That was such a crazy game.
Yeah, incredible stuff. It looks like these guys...
I did not expect Volibear to to create such a tough game for the Sivir player.
Yeah, let's head back to the commentary booth. So, chat, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know you guys are still catching up on Twitch. We're going to be going down and then coming back online in just a moment here. It looks like there's just about 4 minutes left in the round. If you guys know our weekly tournaments, we don't have any overtime just to keep things at a steady pace. So, we'll go down very soon. But, man, like Leroy said, what a great way to start things off. But I think just for now, we were doing just one. Me and Leroy were just on for just one round, and then we're letting fantastic casters join the party here shortly. But for one round, that was pretty good, huh, Leroy?
Yeah, I could not have hoped for something better. I mean, some decks that we don't usually see, Bolívar Dragon, really cool. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
Silver Miracle, always a fun deck to see, honestly.
it
Uh,
really was. We'll probably see if
really
Mashallah makes
one.
it all the way to that top four cut today. But Leroy, you've been working a little bit behind the scenes on something super exciting, right? Do you want to let these guys know perhaps what you've been kind of working on?
Uh, I don't. I think I want to keep it secret for now.
Okay, fair enough.
Uh, I
I thought
think
something was already set up, or you guys were doing it
the
soon. I thought you could let these guys know, but
okay.
if
Oh
it's
no, the soon one. Yeah, I mean, I'm organizing a show match between France and Italy really soon. This one has been kind of uh, not officially announced, but yeah, it's out there. I thought you were talking about the next one, the next big one.
no,
Um,
no, the more recent one, of course. Yeah, so
yeah,
yeah, guys,
okay, so yeah,
France
show
versus
match.
Italy show match. I believe that's
Yeah.
gonna be on your stream. So guys, I'll put.
Maybe not. Maybe it will be on the big French stream
Oh,
called
that's gonna be
OTB.
amazing.
We don't know yet. Nothing is planned. Um, yeah, and hoping to see more countries starting the show match. I know that Dobby King seemed pretty hyped and wanted to start battling. So yeah, can't wait to see everyone. Uh, yeah, starting to play against each other.
Yeah, it should be exciting, guys. Of course, Leroy will be posting updates on his Twitter, so make sure you guys follow him on there. But for now, we will be going on a short intermission break. If you guys see the stream go down, that's because we're going to be catching up to speed, eliminating the stream delay until I work out the stream delay for both streams next week. Hopefully, I should be able to do so. That way, we can reveal the cards. But sometimes not knowing the cards keeps things exciting. I kind of like not having the cards for this time
Yeah,
around,
I mean, for
actually.
this game, it was crazy. For this game, it was
Yeah.
probably better.
Like for analysis, having the cards is nice, but for the excitement, it's kind of nice to not see what's coming, of course. But all right, chat, don't go anywhere. We're gonna be right back with round number 2. We kind of set the bar high. We'll see if some of these players are able to match that level, but we will be right back with that second round of today's event. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
2 more rounds, and whenever we get to the tail end of these events, it kind of gives me a blast of energy because I'm like, I am so close. But yeah, it's been about 9.5 hours, but it hasn't felt that way because there's been very little breaks. Have you been watching a little bit here and there?
Yeah. I've been watching the last few rounds. I've been angrily shaking my fist at the monitor for some of the plays that have been made on stream, but hey, it's the first European event, right? So these players are potentially it's their first big tournament, right? So you got
Mm-hmm.
to give everyone a little bit of slack, and yeah, excited to see how things top off on day one.
Yeah, I am super excited. And if the screen is showing us correctly, real quick though, NA, do you have the screen share on your end or do you have the stream on your end? Or whichever one you like?
Yeah. I've got your screen share up. So yeah, I do see it looks like a Victor deck with some equipment, which is interesting. I think I even see an unsung hero in there, which is traditionally more of a Fiora card. So pretty interesting.
That is interesting. I was just honestly so caught up on the first deck they showed. Did you catch a little bit of what that was, NA?
Oh, I did not. What is it?
A Rumble. Is a Rumble player doing decent out here in Bologna? Because most people would anticipate Rumble strictly being played for the best of legend. But here we go, a 5-1 Rumble, NA. I did not expect that from the likes of this legend.
Yeah, and it looks like Okay, so I feel like I remember seeing the signature spell on there, and if so, maybe it is more of the unit-based rumble, which is big beat stick deck. My units are better than yours. My units have more stats, which would definitely be pretty interesting to me because the lists that I've seen more success with are the ones that are just Kaisa with a different leader.
Yeah, honestly, you just have the same colors, but might as well get the more useful legend. But this has to be, of course, a mech-centric build. I'm curious because it seems rather straightforward, but there's some kind of method to the madness, right? You can't go X1 in a tournament like Bologna without having some kind of different spice, some kind of different variations on this deck building. So I am excited to see how this Rumble has been able to accomplish. I already see something rather different from the traditional. I guess you can't even say traditional too likely, but Rumble tends to play the blue champ, not the red one, right? Or have you seen both?
Uh, I am not gonna pretend I have watched the most Rumble gameplay. I'm me and my testing group tend to play the more like upper echelon of decks, like trying to win the event rather than maybe go for like metal cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen this myself, so I'm pretty curious as well. I do like the Zinzao in the Victor though. This is definitely different than the more spell heavy builds. It does play the equipment and looks like it's playing more units, so that's a cool start to this one. Bilgewater Conquering gets a gold token.
Yeah, you're so right. This is a non-traditional. Funny enough, we're so used to seeing those prison-style decks from Victor, so it's almost a big breath of fresh air when you see something that's not a recruit token. So I like seeing the Zinzao, but it looks like for the Roman player, they love seeing that blue champion +1 might on every single one of your mechs. Right now, it's just gonna be holding down Valmon's lair for I believe 5, 7, 8 total might currently. Actually, Rumble's just 4, so 5. Actually, no, yeah, 7 might, 7 total might, because I don't think that Portal's a mech, is he?
No, it is not a.
Yeah.
This is kind of interesting choosing to play both the champion units, right? And I guess I'm kind of curious what ratios opting to play the other one, the blue one at. If it's like just a one of, so you can swap it, or if it is just, hey, I'm going to play 3 of this and it's just a solid unit in my deck.
Yeah, we'll see. Perhaps he's just playing a single version of the red one and then has the remaining ones in the main deck as a 2 or 3 of I could only imagine, because the red one is decently useful, but in particular situations, which is why having it in the champion zone might be perfect for those specific situations. Because as you guys know, I'll pull it here on screen. And interesting enough, the production team of Bologna hasn't been the best at pulling out the cards on the screen. They pull up the blue champion, but they don't pull up the red one just yet. I'll go ahead and try to pull it up for you guys. When I conquer, you may recycle another friendly unit to play a mech from your trash. Reduces energy cost by the might of the unit you recycled. So a bit of an intricate type of card, but I can see in the right hand and the right strategy, it could be pretty beneficial.
Yeah, with some setup, it's a pretty powerful card, right? Like if you do have, let's say you have a couple of the blue rumbles in your trash, then if you do conquer with the red rumble, you can just go ahead and oh no, sorry, I'm misremembering. So it's you recycle from the field, so you get to switch them out. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what
you
it is.
you
So
you
it's you
kill a
recycle from
unit
the field.
basically. You kill a unit
Yeah,
from the field, and then the might from that unit you discount it from
yeah,
something in the trash.
yeah, yeah. Definitely. Okay, that is interesting because I feel like the blue rumble is just straight up better. Maybe it's because the red rumble is a 4 cost and there are a lot of obelisks going around in the format, so you could just play him on turn 2 if people are playing obelisk. That is a thought.
One card we are very familiar with, it will be that Kaiser Survivor, of course. So looking at the Zen Zhao on that war camp to take down as Victor's completely tapped out to take care of that Rumble. What was it? Was it a double call of the week, or what did I miss there? It was a call of the week to take care of it. And Stupefy to bring that Zen Zhao down into the range of not trading with the Kaiser. So it gives a +1 draw. And I'm liking this position so far for Rumble. But I'm wondering if this was more of a prison style deck, would Rumble even stand a chance? But I mean, they're both
No.
5-1.